Hey everyone, Teo here. Today I'm reviewing the Huawei MatePad 11.5 PaperMatte edition, and I have actually purchased the wrong tablet for this review. So this is the 11.5-inch model from 2023. This is not the 11.5S model from 2024. Anyway, in this video, I'll also tell you the differences between this tablet, the older tablet, versus the new tablet, even though I don't have the new tablet. And I will also tell you the things that other reviewers don't tell you or just barely mention. And those things that I will tell you will definitely affect your purchasing decision. So if you have the intention to buy this tablet, make sure you buy the correct model because the newer 2024 model has more features. So this old model does not support magnetic charging and pairing. So to charge the Huawei M Pencil 2, you have to use this additional accessory, which is a cable with charging pad, and connect it to the tablet. And you can see the battery life only because this is connected. If you disconnect this and go into the Bluetooth settings, you can't even see the battery life of the pen. The 2024 model supports Huawei M Pencil version 3, which supports palm rejection, tilt, and slightly over 10,000 levels of pressure sensitivity. For the 2023 model, it uses M Pencil 2, which supports palm rejection, tilt, but 4,000 over levels of pressure sensitivity. Since I don't have M Pencil version 3, I can't really tell you whether 3 is significantly better than 2. So I don't think 3 is going to be that much better because 2 is already really good. This pen has low initial activation force, which allows you to draw thin lines very easily even with a thick brush selected. And there is almost no noticeable diagonal line wobble or jitter. So the accuracy is pretty good. Alright, let me give you the bottom line up front. I have reviewed many Huawei tablets over the past few years, so I'm quite familiar with their tablets. And their tablets can be divided into 3 groups: the budget tablets, the mid-range, and the premium models, which are the Huawei MatePad Pros. So below the Huawei MatePad Pros is where the confusion starts because they now have so many tablets, and that's also the reason why I purchased the wrong tablet. Anyway, as long as you get the mid-range or the premium range, the build quality, the specs that you can get with the tablets is going to be really good. But for the mid-range, for this particular tablet, Huawei sacrificed the audio quality for the 4-way speakers. So the audio is loud, but there is no sound separation. There is not much definition compared to the Huawei MatePad Pros. So that would be the most significant downside in terms of hardware. And of course, the other downside is this pen cannot attach to the side of the tablet for charging and for pairing, which is quite inconvenient because if you want to bring the pen out, you have to make sure you charge the pen to 100% because otherwise this pen may run out of battery while you're outdoors, or you will have to bring these additional accessories out with you. The matte glass display of this tablet is definitely one of the main selling points, and it is this feature that differentiates this tablet from other tablets from other companies. And this matte surface does not have aggressive anti-glare. What I mean by that is when it diffuses light, right now it's diffusing the sky, you can still see the content on the display. So with matte screen protectors, usually they will just diffuse everything until this display is white and glaring and blinding. But this is really good. And from what I can see, it doesn't really affect the colors that much. So the reading experience on this matte surface is really good. I will talk more about the matte glass later on. I just wish other companies would start selling more tablets with this surface. And now I want to talk about the downsides or limitations of this tablet, and that is the user experience. So other reviewers don't really talk much about user experience, but this is the part that's going to help you decide whether to buy or not buy this tablet. Because the user experience on this tablet or on all Huawei MatePad tablets is not ideal. So this is running on HarmonyOS, and the App Store is called Huawei App Gallery, and there are many pre-installed bloatware included. And Huawei has also included many bookmarks to apps that thankfully they did not install. So these bookmarks don't actually take up storage space. They are just links to where you can download these apps. If Huawei did not put all those bookmarks or bloatware into the folders, there would be like maybe 3 pages of bloatware and bookmarks. And many of the apps are infested with ads. So if you open Huawei App Gallery, for example, often they will show you these unskippable ads. And also when you use some of the utility apps such as Files, in this case, alright, they did not show me an app, but sometimes when I install an APK from one of the files, they will show me recommendations of other apps that I can install. And this is the web browser. Okay, a web browser with an unskippable ad. And there are other utility apps with ads. So there are a lot of ads on this tablet. The other downside is there is no Google Play Store, but you can actually install Google Play Store on this tablet, and I will show you how later on. Anyway, many of the Google apps can actually be run from the web browser, so that's not too much of an issue. What's the issue here is even if you install Google Play Store on this tablet, some of the Google services may not work, more specifically payment services. So without payment services, you may not be able to restore past purchases. And without payment services, you may not be able to buy the apps that you want to buy from the Google Play Store. This app is Infinite Painter, and as you can see, the format is wrong. Let me just open this file, go into the settings to unlock all features. So this is where you should see a buy button or a restore button, but since the Google payment services doesn't work, I cannot sign in to restore my past purchase of Infinite Painter. So you don't really want to have a situation where you buy the tablet only to find out that the app that you have purchased before can't work on this tablet because some of the features are locked out, or worse still, you can't even install the app. For example, earlier on I actually showed you this comic pages. This is from the Amazon Kindle website. Because I cannot install the Amazon Kindle app on this tablet for whatever reason. So there are other apps that I cannot install on this tablet as well. So I just opened up Huawei App Gallery to talk about the apps that are available in the App Store, and there is this pop-up that appears with app recommendations. So this is an ad as well. So this is how annoying it is. Anyway, many of the apps available from the Huawei App Gallery are Chinese apps, and there are many scam-like looking apps. I cannot say they are scams or scam apps because I cannot check. But the thing is, most of the popular apps available from the Google Play Store are not available here. For popular apps such as Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Messenger, WhatsApp, Microsoft OneDrive, you will have to install them through Google Play Store, or you have to find an APK online to install them. And even if you can somehow install those apps, you will not know whether you can restore your past purchases or you can buy the app to unlock features. So that's the bottom line. Do you see other reviewers talk about user experience, like real user experience, and not just the features that are advertised on Huawei's product page? Now, the build quality for Huawei tablets, the hardware for Huawei tablets has been great since many years ago. It's just that the user experience, to put it politely, is not ideal. The pricing of Huawei tablets is actually pretty good. It's quite competitive. So here in Singapore, at the time of making this video, the 2023 11.5-inch model is 600 Singapore dollars, which is around USD $450. And for the new model that just came out, the 11.5S, it's $700, and that is about 520 US dollars. And for this price, you also get the pen, and you also get the keyboard cover case. So this is actually pretty good pricing. It's just that at those prices, you can also buy Samsung tablets or Xiaomi tablets with pen support. Maybe those tablets will be slightly more expensive, but you get Google Play Store. So without Google Play Store, there are many inconveniences, as I have shown you. And also you don't get bloatware or ads with those tablets. Yeah, so I mean, the main selling point here really is the matte glass. Without the matte glass, I don't really know what's the selling point of this tablet. These are the items included with the purchase, which I did not bring out, so I just drew them. That's the tablet. This is a 22.5 watt charger, quick start guide, USB-A to USB-C charging cable, and this is a microfiber cleaning cloth for the tablet. Now, here in Singapore, you can buy this tablet as a bundle with other goodies. So this is the Huawei M Pencil 2. Now this pen can actually attach to some other tablets magnetically, just not with this tablet, unfortunately. And with the M Pencil 2, there is one replacement pen tip and this USB-C to charging pad cable accessory to help you charge and pair the pen to the tablet. And this is the keyboard case. This is the case, and this is the detachable keyboard. This keyboard case is quite well made. Well, it's quite dusty, so this can attract dust quite easily. There is no touchpad. Now this keyboard is detachable, and this is powered by battery. So with a detachable Bluetooth keyboard, you can actually place the tablet on a stand and use the keyboard like this. It's just that when you need to charge the keyboard, because it's powered by battery, you will have to put the case back to the keyboard so that the connectors here can charge the keyboard, and you can use it like this as well. One user experience issue with this keyboard is when I detach the tablet to use it like a tablet and I tap into a text box, I want to see the virtual keyboard, but because this Bluetooth keyboard is still connected, it's not going to show you the virtual keyboard. So to show the virtual keyboard, I have to disconnect the Bluetooth, and later on, if I want to use the Bluetooth keyboard again, I will have to go into Bluetooth settings to enable Bluetooth. And there is no settings that allows me to, show the virtual keyboard when this is physically disconnected. Another thing about this keyboard case is this kickstand behind can only deploy at this angle. It cannot go lower. Let's look at the design of this tablet. Now this is a beautiful design. The bezels are thin and uniform on all four sides. The corners are rounded off, and the LCD also has rounded corners. The camera is here in landscape orientation. This tablet is quite thin, and the weight is 499 grams. Now the 2024 model is 510 grams, if I remember correctly. The power button is located here at the top left when the tablet is in landscape orientation. There is no touch unlock, but there is face unlock with the 8 megapixel camera here. There are 4-way speakers and the audio is loud, but there is no sound separation and there is no definition with the audio. And this is the bottom with the USB-C charging port with USB 2 transfer speeds. The 2024 model has USB 3 transfer speed, so this is quite slow at USB 2, and you can see this is not aligned in the middle. This is the back, and this is matte textured metal, which feels really nice. One 13 megapixel camera with lousy image quality. At the top here, we have the volume controls, and at the bottom there are the connectors for the keyboard. It may not be clear, but all the sides are actually curved slightly and the edges are beveled. I have reviewed many tablets from other companies, and Huawei tablets feel the best, feel the most comfortable in hand because of the curved sides. Let's talk about the display. So this is an 11.5-inch IPS LCD display with good colors. If I remember correctly, it's 100% sRGB support. And the resolution is 2200 by 1440 for the 2023 model. For the 2024 model, the 11.5S, it's 2800 by 1840. So the new model actually has more pixels, and the pixel density is 291. So this model, the older model, has 229 ppi, and from 1 arm's distance away, I cannot see pixelation and all the visuals still look sharp. And this is the main selling point for the display, the matte glass surface that Huawei is not charging you extra for, unlike Apple. This LCD display has up to 500 nits of brightness, and this is how it looks under direct sunlight. So you can see the brightness is not high enough to create good contrast for legibility. And this is how the anti-glare looks. You can see this white diffusion that makes things almost impossible to see. As long as you're using the tablet under the shade, you will get good colors and contrast. And when you use this indoors, it looks terrific. So this is how the anti-glare looks. This is less aggressive compared to earlier because right now I'm under the shade, and this is how reflective glass really is. The refresh rate of this display is 120 Hz, and you can choose between 60 and 120. For the 2024 model, it's up to 144 Hz. It's adaptive refresh rate from 30 to 144. This display is laminated, so there is no gap between the LCD and the glass. So when writing, it really looks like the line is coming out from directly beneath the pen tip. The amount of latency will vary depending on the app you use, and Medibank Paint is an app that usually has very obvious latency. So here you can see the line trying to catch up with the pen tip quite obviously. Let's switch over to using concepts. So now you can see the gap between the line and the pen tip is smaller, not as noticeable. So this is pretty good. Let's switch over to Clip Studio. And latency is quite obvious here. Let's switch over to Huawei Notes, and latency performance is pretty good here. So latency performance really varies depending on the app you use. This matte glass surface feels really nice to draw on. There is some texture, but it's not like paper, so it's still smooth, but I wouldn't say it's slippery. It's very similar to those pen tablets without displays. Yeah, the feeling is very similar to those pen tablets. And the matte textured surface allows me to glide my palm on the display quite easily. Now if the display is glossy, my sweaty palms will just stick to the display. And as I draw, I can actually hear some sound as the pen is gliding on the matte surface. So the drawing experience is actually pretty good, and the drawing experience here is similar to the Apple Pencil on the nano texture glass. Now the quality of this matte glass is similar to the nano texture glass on the iPad Pro. All matte textured surfaces will introduce some color noise, grain, or sparkle to affect the image quality. And I'm happy to say that the color noise, grain, or the sparkle here is kept to a minimum. And the sharpness is still pretty good. It looks pretty sharp to me. Time for the line test, and the app I'm using is Millibank Paint. So this is Huawei M Pencil 2. M Pencil 3 should have similar quality. If it has lousier quality, then that would be a disaster. So that's how thick the line really is. And this is how thin the line can be when drawing with minimal pressure. Let me draw a slow diagonal line. So this is quite straight. I don't really see any noticeable wobble or jitter. But as you can see, it's kind of difficult to maintain line consistency when drawing with minimal pressure because this pen is so sensitive, which is a good thing. Okay, so if you draw faster, the lines will look even smoother and the consistency is better. This is how the lines taper, and this is good because it starts off thin, becomes thick, and tapers to become thin and sharp. Let's look at line transition from thin to thick. So this is also pretty good. What I mean by good is I am able to draw very thin lines after drawing the thick lines. So some pens are not able to draw thin lines after drawing the thick lines. Let me demonstrate. Thick, thin, yeah. So the lousier pens will behave like this, but this is a sensitive pen, so you get thin lines. Next, let's test for pressure consistency. I am able to maintain consistent line width by maintaining consistent pressure, but it's not that easy because here you can see the variance with the line width because of how much pressure I apply. This is not as easy compared to other pens, but this is okay, this is alright. Let's draw some dots, works fine. Let's test for cursor misalignment. And what I usually do is draw separate lines and join them. And this seems fine. So as the pen tip is very close to the display, you can see the cursor. Depending on the app you use, you may or may not be able to turn off the cursor. So I have no problem joining the lines. Yeah, no issues at all. So I am able to join the lines without the lines overshooting or leaving gaps. Cursor tracking at the extreme edge seems accurate enough. And also when I tilt the pen, I don't see the cursor stray or the line stray away from the pen tip. So that's good. Tilt sensitivity works fine. So this is with minimal pressure, with heavy pressure, and with tilt. Let me show you how to find and install drawing apps on this tablet without Google Play Store. First, you have to install Google Play Store. So go into Huawei App Gallery and search for G space. Okay, notice the virtual keyboard doesn't pop up because the Bluetooth keyboard is connected. So let me just use the Bluetooth keyboard. So there are two apps you can use. The first app is G Space, which is the app that I use. So this has been installed by others 92 million times. The other app is called Gbox, which, if I am not wrong, does the same thing. So this was installed 127 million times. Once you have GSpace installed, just open it, enter a Google account, and open Google Play Store, and this is where you can find all the apps. However, not all apps are available for installation on this tablet. For example, I wasn't able to find Infinite Painter from Google Play Store for some reason. So this Infinite Painter was actually installed with an APK file that I found from some APK library website. And as you can see, it doesn't work properly because the layout is wrong. I was able to install Clip Studio Paint from the Google Play Store. So this is the simple mode or tablet mode UI. CSP has very noticeable latency, but I guess for drawing it's still okay because when we are drawing, we are not usually drawing like that fast. So for drawing purposes, the latency seems to be okay. I wish it could be better, but this is actually still okay. Let me switch over to the studio mode. So this is how the app looks with two columns of palettes, and there is still a good amount of canvas space to work with for drawing. As in, I can still place my palm on the display and still see what I am drawing. It would be better to just reduce or hide one column of palette so that I get more space to rest my hand. And palm rejection actually works quite well. So right now I am drawing with my finger. You can see nothing happens. If I have my palm on the display, nothing will happen as well. And the navigation gestures for pan, zoom, and rotate works fine. The most important thing for Clip Studio is I am still able to sign into my cloud account and restore all the files. So I can open all the files that I have saved on the cloud. Next, let's look at Concepts, which is one of my favorite drawing apps. By the way, I am showing you many different drawing apps because each app may have some issues. For example, with Infinite Painter that I showed you earlier, there is problem with the format and I wasn't able to restore purchase for this app. And for MediBank Paint, whether you can restore purchase will depend on where you install MediBank Paint. So if you install this app from the Huawei App Gallery, which is a very old version of the app, you cannot restore purchase. But if you install this app from Google Play Store, you can restore purchase. No issues with Clip Studio and no issues with Sketchbook. And for Concepts, I am also able to restore the purchases that I have made a few years ago. But the thing is, if you have not bought anything from whichever drawing app you use, or you have not bought the app and you want to buy the app or the tools, that may not work. The purchase may not go through because Google payment services may not work. Yeah, so that is actually one huge downside with this tablet. You will not know in advance whether your app can work or whether your purchases can be restored until you have the tablet, until you spend the money. So, that's a huge risk, right? You want to know that your app can work before you buy the tablet. And now let's talk about the drawing experience while I draw something really simple, such as the potted plant over there. The app that I am using is MediBank Paint. So I have the column of palette by the side here, and I have turned on or enabled palm rejection. Now, palm rejection may not be enabled depending on the app you use. So for this app, I have to enable palm rejection. So because this pen is sensitive, I can draw thin lines even with a thick brush selected. So far the lines are coming out just the way I expect them to be. I'm drawing potted plants because I don't have to worry too much about accuracy. I just want to show you the line quality. Now notice I have the keyboard by the side. If you're using an app that supports keyboard shortcut, the detachable keyboard is actually really useful because you can draw here and use keyboard shortcuts here. So that is actually very useful if you're using an app that supports keyboard shortcuts, such as Clip Studio Paint, Krita. I wasn't able to install Krita on this tablet though, not even with the APK that I found online for some reason. Yeah, so see this very thin line here? Yeah, I can just draw with very minimal pressure and get the thin line really easily. I believe the glass that Huawei is using for this tablet is kinda thin because when I tap on the display, I can actually see some ripple effect. So that's what happens when you press on the glass too hard. But I'm not pressing down that hard, I'm just tapping on the display and I can see ripple effects. I just like the texture of this matte glass. It's really good for drawing. Palm rejection works fine. Now there are some software features provided by Huawei that may sometimes happen. For example, if I'm not sure why sometimes, but when I use my little finger to draw, this will create a, what's this, screenshot. Yeah, this will actually circle that area and do a screenshot. So you have to disable that. Otherwise, when you're drawing and your hand is gliding and it creates that action, it will call up the screenshot mode, which is very irritating. Oh, another issue that I discovered is for those apps that were installed with the help of G-Space, when you open that app and you minimize, those apps will not appear in the recent apps dock here. So if you want to switch between apps that are open, it's quite inconvenient. You have to do this, but sometimes I just want to tap on the app to go back to drawing and then go back to web browsing and go back to drawing. You can't do that here for the apps that are installed with G-Space. So with Concepts, I can use the keyboard to access all my tools, and this allows me to work really quickly. I can also call up the color palette, hide or show the layers. So this is my artist review of the Huawei MatePad 11.5 PaperMatte edition. I still can't believe I actually purchased the wrong tablet for review. I have asked Huawei Singapore for a review unit of the 2024 tablet, but they said they don't have the review unit for that, so it is very unlikely for me to review that tablet, especially when the user experience is going to be quite similar as what you have seen in this video. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope this review is useful. See you guys again. Bye!